Well, good evening, everyone. Greetings from India to each and every one of you. I appreciate your commitment, your dedication, and your participation on this initiative being taken by none other but Dr. Abhishek Pandey, who is the president for this Charles Walter Society for Innovation and Research. This is Dr. Dheeraj Mehrotra. I'm an academic evangelist and I cater to today's proceedings, welcoming you all and thanking you for your precious dedication, I should be saying. So, thank you, one and all. The second World Peace Summit, fourth session we are talking about. Today, we have members, all the intellectuals, the brain behind the World Peace initiatives globally. So I welcome everybody. Let me have a formal introduction of CWSIR. Initially, Charles Walters Society for Innovation and Research is an NGO founded by Dr. Smita Tiwari, and it's an independent research institute throughout the Society Act 21 1860 based at Gorakhpur, UP, India. And it is being presided by Dr. Abhishek Pandey. It has a vision for promoting research and innovation and targets the mission to strengthen the society and, above all, the global world. And we also look forward to, having innovation, creativity, leading the entire fraternity of education to a destiny that can produce great people, scholars, national and international patents, and particularly attribute to wider participation of people globally. And the entire credit, of course, Mr. Pandey and his team need to be thanked for his wonderful initiative being taken. And I'm sure in this COVID time, we are all living with challenges, and let's all come together to make these challenges as opportunities. We have had a tough time, and those who are watching us also, it's a common element we are facing these days. Nobody anticipated it, but certainly our connectivity, our periodic connect interactions of this kind will certainly make a better place to live in and share our griefs together. And also we are going to be celebrating our success together. So this is the priority. I'll just start up with a little prayer. So let me play the prayer, which is in Hindi, and we'll initiate it further. Okay. We initiate this with peace all around, peace as our religion, and we initiate this as a contest. obviously it has to be practiced by one and all. Our prayers being answered. Let's begin with the initiation now. I take this opportunity to welcome our delegates. We have initiation on ground. So particularly the first speaker for today is Professor Sharif Ismail. He is a professor in Saudi Arabia. I welcome him. He is our chief guest today. Over to you, sir. Professor Sharif. Hi. Okay, I think he's going to log in. Maybe we move to the next speaker, Dr. Sheikh Farhan, postdoctoral researcher from Pakistan. Dr. Sheikh Farhan. Okay, we'll come back to him. Then we have Nariyashi Kamori, entrepreneur from Japan. No worries, we'll wait for them.
Okay, can I start?
Yeah, just a second.
कैसा रहा? अच्छा आज यूनिवर्सिटी में वाला का बेटा तो बड़ा जबरदस्त जख्मी हो गया वो कल
He's Professor Matham. He wanted to start and initiate the program from Iraq.
Professor Matham?
Yeah.
Okay, please.
Okay, it's my great pleasure to be here with you. Welcome everybody. Thank you so much to invite me to participate in World Peace Summit. Firstly, the conflicts are the major threat for world peace. Okay, can I share my PowerPoint, please? You make me co-host.
Yes, you can please do the needful.
It's clear? It's clear?
Yes, it is clear. Please go ahead. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I'm Professor Matham Ghali Youssef from Iraq. Okay, let's start. The conflicts are the major threat for world peace. So, what are the sources of conflict? Spiritual sources of conflict, which is the result of original ancestors' separation from God and negative influence from evil spiritual forces. The second, individual sources of conflict, vicinity within the individual and the confusion of the values.
Sorry to disturb you. Can you be a bit louder, please? Just come near to the computer or to the mic. It would be nice. Thank you.
Okay. It's my voice. It's clear now?
Yes, it's better.
Okay. It's good. Second, individual sources of conflict, vicinity within the individual and confusion of values. Third, family sources of conflict. Family dysfunction affects succeeding generation. Fourth, national or international sources affect national policy affect the future generation and can lead to conflict within or between nations. So, what are the steps for peace? Some steps of world peace, including the following. Start by stopping out exclusion. Evidence shows that conflict happens in places where people cannot trust the police or get access to justice, media, and others that promote them and us thinking must be challenged to stop spreading hate, to bring about true equality between women and men. It's very important. The larger countries, genders gap, the more likely it is people involved in violent conflict. And when women participate in peace processes, peace is more likely to endure. Third, share out wealth. The systematic transfer of wealth from rich to poor instead of other way around improve security for everyone. Tackle climate change. Evidence that the world can tackle and mitigate crises by cooperation instead of war. Look within. Every one of us can choose to make society more just and peaceful, or more just and warlike. Finally, as I have 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, finally, there is a common misconception that Islam is a religion of violence. There is no basis for this in Islam. Islam is a religion of peace. The very first verse of the Quran reads, "In the name of God, the most merciful, the most compassionate." The verse which is repeated in the Quran 114 times clearly shows that God of Islam is the God of mercy and compassion. And the book of Islam too is the book of mercy. The people of Islam must also possess the quality of mercy and compassion. Otherwise, they could not be true believers. Thank you for listening, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your wonderful deliberation. Now, I would request Professor Sharif Ismail, if you're there.
Oh, really? Yes.
Okay. Dr. Sheikh Farhan. Naryoshi Kamore, entrepreneur from Japan. Okay. Then we have Mrs. Afroza Akhtar from Bangladesh. Mrs. Afroza Akhtar from Bangladesh.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, ma'am, please, over to you.
Well, I'm very sorry because I was, out of my workstation for a couple of weeks. That's because of my father's demise on 13th February. So that is why I was out of everything. But suddenly when I saw, that today we have a meeting, I actually planned to join you all because I was far away from you for quite a long period of time. But I don't have any PowerPoint slides ready to show. But
no
yes,
worries,
of course, I'd
no
like
worries.
to share that the World Peace Summit and the idea of the entire program is wonderful. And I would like to congratulate not only to Dr. Abhishek, who is the chairman and the organizer of this summit and the entire and responsible regarding the entire, NGO or institution, whatever we say, rather all the organizers, all the other, participants, all the members of the society who have been working seriously hard since its inception. And I'm very proud to be a part of this society. I wish to do something constructive for the society in future. And well, please let me know if I have any kind of responsibilities, to contribute. Well, I would love to contribute in future. Thank you so much from my part.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thank you. And may God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, that was Madam from Bangladesh. now we have Dr. Beatriz Lucia Bizocto, educationist from Brazil.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Good evening. It's
Good
a
evening.
pleasure to be here.
Yeah, pleasure of mine. Yeah.
Thanks for the invitation, and I'm sure this will be a great afternoon full of knowledge and beauty. Thank you. Character education is now a topic that is often discussed in seminar forums, but there is not yet a standard instrument in measuring the internalization of character education. The development of the nation's character is a series of efforts for growth and change that are planned and carried out consciously by all citizens of a nation, state, and the government towards modernity in the context of fostering the nation. For example, religious attitudes, polite patience, mutual respect, and prioritized deliberation. Now, it tends to be destructive in carrying out community activities. Character determines human behavior, so that one of the factors that are commonly used as a scapegoat of the behavior of citizens who are not commendable, it is the character of the nation that began to shift, even declining quality. Such conditions are influenced by world trends, namely globalization, which allows information to enter unlimitedly borderless information. In a situation like this, there is a process of transcultural and cross-cultural, which then brings together cultural values with each other. Character education has a broader meaning than moral education because it is not just teaching what is right and what is wrong, but more than that. Character education instills habits about good things, so the students become understand cognitive domain about which is good and which is bad. They are able to feel and appreciate affective domain, good values, and use to do it, um, which must be taught to young people so that they understand and do what is good and stay away from the bad things. Furthermore, it's disagreed with the way of moral reasoning, education, and value clarification taught in the United States, for example, because in fact, there is an absolute universal moral value which is sourced from the teachings of world religions called the Golden Rule. These moral values, such as mutual respect, honesty, modesty, mutual help, fair, and responsible, they are character is a good value in the form of behavior. The internalization of character values in students must be done massively and systematically. Students as future generations must be prepared carefully through good education, namely by passing down a noble nation's culture. This kind of study examines the validity of reliability of instruments that measure the internalization variables of character education. The study that I am talking about here in this speak. Character education, just to finish, refers to moral values that are good to develop in people's lives. The application of these educational values will form a harmony in society. The society that upholds the values of character as characteristics will have a civilized society. Education develops cultural values and national character in learners so that they have values and character as their own character, apply these values in their lives as members of society, as citizens who are religious, nationalists, productive, and creative. Local wisdom can be used as a foundation to build the nation's character as long as it does not conflict with the values of it. Efforts should be made to stem the negative effects of globalization. Formal, non-formal, and informal education channels are involved in the maintenance of local wisdom in order to build the character, responsibility in the attitude and behavior of a person to carry out their duties and obligations which he should do towards oneself, the society, the environment, natural, social, and cultural, the state, and God. Thank you very much for the invitation. It was a pleasure to speak for you, and greetings for everybody who is participating.
Thank you. Thank you. It was great to have you from Brazil. Thank you and God bless you. Now we have Professor Silvana Carnicero, professor from Argentina. He's our guest of honor today. So, Professor, if you're there, Silvana.
Well, yes, I'm here.
Yeah, please.
Good morning or good evening to everyone. It's 9 a.m. in my country. So I will be sharing my screen.
Okay, most welcome, most welcome.
Well, meanwhile, I want to thank you all for the invitation. As my topic for this World Peace Summit, I have chosen to speak about amplifying students' voice because I think it has a great connection with global citizenship mainly. My idea is that youth voices matter in the same way as teachers' voices matter, and we should allow students to take part and to be heard all around the world.
अशोक गोरखपुरी बोल नहीं अशोक गोरखपुरी था उसको है ना नया उसका ना छोटा राजदूत था.
As a teacher of English as a foreign language, I have been trying to make my students' voice heard for many years. I started working 20 years ago with global online projects in times when internet started to exist in our schools. So it has been a long way, but I am very happy to see that, well, global values are starting to be part of school education in all the world. So 5 years ago, I started working with the Sustainable Development Goals that lead to global citizenship. The methodology I have been using is project-based learning. In the past, project-based learning used to start with a question for research, and students were supposed to build a final product that could be shared in different ways. Well, with the coming of new technologies to education, the possibilities of telecollaboration have been increasing. So now I am concerned with making students not only learn about the world, but also to make them learn with the world. We can define telecollaborative projects as projects that allow teachers to amplify students' voice by connecting learners to students, teachers, and experts from around the globe through synchronous and asynchronous technological tools to find solutions to real-world problems. And these solutions are found through the use of collective intelligence. We have moved forward from cooperative process to collaborative process. When we think of collaboration, we are thinking of making students work together, make them share their views, trust in other people's views, being inspired, exchange ideas, and get support. Collaboration processes, when they are effective, lead to success. Then another important skill that is being developed through these telecollaborative projects is communication. As a teacher of a foreign language, I am interested in making my students get engaged in genuine communication through different technological tools, and they develop communicative skills in oral language and in written language, depending on the technological tool we try to use. The other C that is very important in this telecollaborative project is creativity. And when we develop students' creativity, we as teachers also have to use our creativity for the proposals we take to students. So the creative process goes through this way. Students have to do research, they get inspired, they share ideas, they think, they brainstorm their ideas, and then they finally design the final product that is going to be shared as a result of the whole project. The technological tools I tend to use to amplify my students' voice are the ones you can see in the screen. Skype and Zoom for synchronous communication, Flipgrid or Blogger, Flipgrid mainly for oral communication, then Padlet and Blogger for written communication. And I also use Google Forms or Microsoft Forms to collect students' views on different topics, to carry out surveys, to bring their voices to the classroom, and also to bring the voices of their families to the classroom, because it is a way of connecting family and school to work for a global education. These are examples of real classroom projects we have been carrying out in the past few years. In the first one, you can see a digital mural done collaboratively by students working on climate change and specifically on the effects and causes of natural disasters. Then you can see the same, along the same lines, talking about climate change, a Flipgrid in which students share their opinions about the things that could be done to diminish climate change. So this was a real way of getting students' voice into the classroom. So, well, my idea is all students must be heard. No matter where they come from, no matter which religion they have, and no matter which social class they belong to. Well, thank you very much, and I hope many people can get involved in this telecollaborative project to work for global education.
Thank you. Thank you. It was really innovative, and I'm very sure the teachers who are watching can emulate this as a quality benchmark. So thank you very much, madam. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we move to our next speaker. Madam, can you just
yes,
close your screen? Thank you. Thank you very much. And now we move to our next speaker, who is Alexandria from Uruguay. She is the school principal. So are you there, Alexandre? Do we have Alexandre? Yeah, I can see Alexandre Texperia. Yeah, please. Okay, okay. Welcome, welcome. Over to you. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, can you please be near the mic so that we are audible and we are audible as well as you are audible to us also. So come near the mic.
Okay. You listen to me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a pleasure to share this presentation. I call forms of please for Hawaiian case. I am a principal of a technical school, a national technical school, since 2016. I have 4 experience of principal, and I am a teacher of the University of Republic. This presentation is for some ideas of the pedagogical project of my center, of my school. The school have technical professions. We have students since 11 years old to 80 years old. We have a long age. No? The principal idea is the coexistence as a way of promoting peace. Yes. The first is teamwork. The teamwork is necessary to promote a peace. And we release a teacher focus group. We work the student disciplines and the school policies and promote and promote violence-free communities. Tell me and forget, teach me and remember, and involve me, and I learn. If necessary, involve all actors from the school, teachers, students, and other actors from the higher school. We work, involve all actors. To involve all actors, we release some activities, not curricular activities, optional activities, to share other time with the students. This picture is a teacher and a student share one of these moments. Summary: it's necessary to listen to both teachers and students on equal terms. Create rules of the school or school policies of coexistence and agree between all actors, teachers, students, and other employers. Rules should be known to all. It's necessary to promote the school policies. Free from all kinds of violence, physical, sexual, emotional, or other. To this, it's necessary to work with the students and the teachers these topics. Create extracurricular activities and space to share other things, not only the class things. No, involve the parents in a school activities. It's very necessary. To this proposal is based on the research of the Nidia Viscardi. She is intellectual of Uruguayan intellectual. She have a book, Gramáticas de la Convivencia, the possible translate is coexistence grammar, and the National Plan of Education on Human Rights. This is a publication of the National Public Education System. No? Thank you. Thank you a lot.
Thank you very much. And I'm really appreciative about your innovative practices which you are doing. God bless you and God bless your children as well. Thank you very much. Now we have Dr. Shauli Mukherjee. She is an educationist from India. Welcome, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much, and wishing you all a very good evening. And it's indeed a real pleasure for me to share my insights today on world peace on this platform. To start off with, I would like to say that of the many problems that we face today are actually of our own making, created by misunderstandings and can actually be corrected. One such type arises from the conflict of ideologies, political or religious, when people fight with each other for petty ends, losing sight of the basic humanity that binds all of us together as a single human family. We must remember that the different religions, ideologies, and political systems of the world are meant for human beings to achieve happiness. Every being wants happiness and does not want suffering. If we as intelligent human beings do not accept this fact, there will be more and more suffering on this planet. If we adopt a self-centered approach to life and constantly try to use others for our own self-interest and benefit, we may gain temporary benefits for sure, but in the long run, we will not succeed in achieving even personal happiness, and world peace will definitely be out of the question. The world is becoming smaller and smaller and more interdependent day by day. And as a result of rapid technological advancements and international trade, as well as increasing transnational relationships, today we are so interdependent and so closely interconnected with each other that without a sense of universal brotherhood and sisterhood, and an understanding and belief that we really are part of one big human family, we cannot hope to overcome the dangers to our very existence, let alone bring about peace and happiness. Although the increasing interdependence among nations might be expected to generate more sympathetic cooperation, it is difficult to achieve a spirit of genuine cooperation as long as people remain indifferent to the feelings and happiness of others. I would therefore strongly advocate the power of compassion as one of the strongest pillars of world peace. According to Buddhist psychology, most of our troubles are due to our passionate desire for and attachment to things that we misapprehend as enduring entities. The pursuit of the objects of our desire and attachment involves the use of aggression and competitiveness as supposedly efficacious instruments. These mental processes easily translate into actions, breeding belligerence as an obvious effect. Such processes have been going on in the human mind since times immemorial. But their execution has become more effective under modern conditions. So what can we actually do to control and regulate these poisons? Our delusions, our greed, our aggression, For it is these poisons that are behind almost every trouble in the world today. Love and compassion are the moral fabric of world peace. The rationale for compassion is that every one of us wants to avoid suffering and gain happiness. Whether one believes in religion or not, there is no one who does not appreciate love and compassion. Right from the moment of our birth, we are under the care and kindness of our parents. Later in life, we are under the care and guidance and caring protection of people when we face disease and old age. So if at the beginning and end of our lives, we depend upon others' kindness, why then in the middle should we not act kindly towards others? The development of a kind heart does not involve the religiosity we normally associate with conventional religious practice. It is not only for people who believe in religion, but it is for everyone regardless of race, religion, or political affiliations. It is for anyone who considers himself or herself, above all, a member of the human family and who sees things from this larger perspective. This is a powerful feeling that we should develop and apply. Instead, we often neglect it, particularly in our prime years when we experience the false sense of security. When we take into account this larger perspective, the fact that we all wish to gain happiness and avoid suffering, a true sense of love and respect for others become possible. Individual happiness ceases to be a conscious self-seeking effort. It rather becomes an automatic and far superior byproduct of the whole process of loving and serving others. Magically, it also provides a calmness and presence of mind. Our lives are in constant flux, bringing many difficulties and challenges in our ways. When faced with a calm and clear mind, problems can be successfully resolved. When instead we lose control over our minds through hatred, selfishness, jealousy, and anger, we lose our sense of judgment. Our minds are blinded, and at those wild moments, anything is possible, even war. Thus, the practice of compassion and wisdom is useful for all, especially to those responsible for running national affairs, in whose hands lies the power and opportunity to create the structure of world peace. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was really a wonderful deliberation and great points shared. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Shawley. God bless you.
Most welcome.
Now we have our next speaker, Carla Yanes, an educator from Argentina. Carla. I doubt she's there. Okay. We move to our next speaker, Professor Matham. He has already spoken, I believe. We have next Dr. Tania Gioconda Meza Mendoza, professor from Mexico. Dr. Tania.
Hi, I'm here.
Over to you.
I'm ready. Thank you. I am Dr. Tania Mejia, a research professor of the Universidad Latinoamericana. I am thankful for the opportunity of being able to be with all of you today and to share my experience at the World Peace Forum. Also, I'm especially thankful to the Charles Walter Society for Innovation and Research and to Dr. Abhishek Pandey for the invitation. My presentation is titled Reconciliation Between the Human Being and Nature Through Environmental Education. The world of material abundance increasingly distances the close link between human beings and nature. Recently, different studies show that the current environmental crisis has altered the ecosystems to such an extent that they have lost their ability to regenerate. Global warming and the loss of biodiversity are examples of the effect that the human activity has on nature. The survival of humanity needs to consider the integration of environmental education to generate a process that leads to awareness and is aimed to develop attitudes, values, and practices that can promote respect, care, and active participation of people for the protection of nature. In this sense, it is necessary to reflect on what is the transformation capacity that environmental education can have. I conducted recently a study on environmental attitudes in high school students from public schools that live in areas of high pollution in Mexico City. We took 120 young people on a one-day tour on environmental park in Mexico City, a reserve of more than 130 hectares of forest that represent the lungs of the city. Many of them have never had the opportunity to visit a natural reservation. We carried out distinct activities of environmental awareness. They learned about the species of animals and plants of the region, and the visit did not last more than 4 hours. After 3 months from that visit, we evaluated their environmental attitude and behaviors towards nature that these people have after. The results show that more than 30% of the participants have developed environmental education practices in their homes, such as garbage separation, garden developments, and the production of compost. Many of them also mentioned that their visit to the forest had given them a feeling of emotional well-being. I can affirm that environmental education offers experiences, emotions, and that is an inexhaustible source of free educational materials for all ages. It generates better process of full understanding about local reality, constitutes a creative process that can contribute to develop of people who oppose to passivity, and that it actively participates in the transformation of cultural structures and themselves as a key factors. In this current scenario of the pandemic, much is said about educational technologies and digital learning platforms, but very little is said about the development of a planetary consciousness that reconciles society with nature and that can prevent new epidemics. The question that I would like to put as a discussion for today is, what kind of education do we need as a society so we can develop attitudes, values, and practices that can give us peace and harmony with Mother Nature? In many countries, the need to transform the curriculum towards a flexible educational model adaptable to different culture and multidisciplinary contexts that integrates the technological competence demanded by the 21st century, and also include emerging issues as violence, gender equality, sustainable development, among other topics, is constantly discussed. But the reality is that many of these discussions are only discussed in the political agendas of the countries, and very little is implemented in the educational reality. It is urgent to consider environmental education as a transversal education policy capable of articulating all fields of knowledge and being capable to adapt to different formal and non-formal education modalities. Environmental education, due to its practical nature, enables learning to be mobilized. For example, through the development of a family garden, it is possible to harmonize disciplines such as mathematics, psychics, chemistry, history, biology, healthcare, the arts, literature, among many others. Each environmental space is a pretext for teaching and learning. Mathematics is used when cultivating the land by calculating the development of plants, measuring areas, or estimating a number of seeds per space. We can also carry out practical physics experiments implementing irrigating systems, environmental philosophy by speaking of the ethical dimensions of caring for nature, talking about contemporary concepts such as environmental justice and food sovereignty. History of agriculture by analyzing the different forms of cultivation is different in different countries. Making a virtual catalog and marketing the sale of products can allow us to develop statistical information on the producing regions. As they say, I am sure there is no subject that cannot be approached from environmental education perspective. The world needs not only people with the theoretical knowledge, it also needs people that are agents of social transformation. The climate crisis is imminent and will continue to escalate if we do not generate a true global coalition that includes all countries, communities, and people. Thank you for your attention.
Well, thank you very much. You really spoke in one breath. I would appreciate that. So thank you very much. Your points really worked, and I really thank you for this continuous approach of putting your words across. So thank you very much, and I would request you to have a glass of water. Thank you very much, and you set a great example and a great benchmark for others to encapsulate. So thank you very much once again. That was Dr. Tanya from Mexico. Now we have Rima Singh Madhur, an educator from Australia. Rima, over to you. Well, okay, Rima Singh Madhur from Australia. Okay, we are not able to catch her. Anyway, we'll come back. Then we have Yongdae Shin, MSV Association Korea, as our special guest today. Yongdae Shin from Korea. Okay. Then we have Professor Zinaida Bondovina Zayko, professor from Ukraine. Professor Zinaida.
We present.
Yeah.
Зінаїда Богданівна, давайте.
Доброго дня, шановні колеги.
Okay. Please carry on.
Дуже вам дякую за можливість взяти сьогодні участь у саміті. Надіюся, що все-таки мир – це саме найважливіше, що є в людей. І тому зараз я передам слово для продовження нашої доповіді доктору PhD Лілії Кухарській.
Greetings from Ukraine. Thanks a lot for the opportunity to participate in this summit, because peace is an extraordinary wealth. It's a great honor for me, and I give the floor to report to me, Dr. Lilia Kukharska. So let's start. Man was created by nature for peace, not for war. Born for joy, not for sorrow. Francois Rabelais. Peace is a short but super meaningful word for all of us. Peace on the earth is the greatest treasure. Every era has been marked by military conflicts, such as land distribution, loss of power, the implementation of political structures, making people slaves, the forcible relocation of people, genocide. All these terrible but unfortunately inherent human traits are the foundation of war. War is anguish, pain, fear, mutilation, death. War is the serving of all, both the military and the civilian which are living in the war zone. Peace is not only the absence of armed action between nations or countries. Peace is also a state of mind, a siren's desire to seek for ourselves and for others justice, trust, goodness, and beauty. To embody the desire for the common good is not an easy task. It won't happen by itself. It must be fought for. Regardless of our creed, we must give thanks for our creators of all that we have, and we mustn't forget that we are responsible for accepting the Almighty gift of peace. Sometimes we're often that when we heard that the fate of our countries is in our hands, that no one can help us build the social order which we want, which we need, but it's true. Nationwide peace is the full sense of the word, can only be the result of sacrificial work, the purification of our own hearts, and the unconditional service of our compatriots. Actually, on these two elements, purity of heart and the desire to do good to all of others, is built what is called love to the motherland. In conclusion, I would like to say, in the words of Jimi Hendrix, when the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. Peace to all. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you to both of you. I appreciate.
Thanks
Well,
a lot.
Okay. So now okay. So we will be having Jen after this speaker. Jen, Professor Macario from Philippines. I will be calling you next after Yong Shin from Korea. Now over to Yong Shin from Korea. Yong Shin from Korea. Yonggain Shin. Okay. Yong Shin, I'm sorry if you're not able to catch him. I request Professor Macario from Philippines to please take over.
All right, thank you. Good evening from the Philippines.
Okay,
it's
great.
Almost 8:30, almost 9:25 in the Philippines. It's evening now in my country. Okay, pleasant evening to all. Once again, I'm Dr. Macario Chigayeta from the University of the East in Manila, the Philippines. My presentation is about the 3 decades of peace education in the Philippines, because right now in the new curriculum in the Philippines, the peace education studies is now being offered at the different colleges, universities in the Philippines. And actually, there are some universities here who's offering also the bachelor's degree in peace education, and also it is included in the master's degree in communication research and other communication subjects in the Philippines. So I will share with you my PowerPoint presentation. Can you see my presentation?
Yeah, I can see your presentation, but it is half the screen, so you can maximize it.
Okay. Oh, it's already.
Yeah, it's
good?
there. Thank you.
Okay,
It's there.
okay,
It's
okay.
there.
Okay. So right now in the Philippines, the Department of Education, through our Secretary Leonor Briones, is now has already signed what we call the value of peace education from the Department of Education in the Philippines, and with all of these members of the Peace Summit from the different countries, like for example, from the US, from the Netherlands, and the other European countries. So this is the Center for Peace Education. This has been utilized in the Philippines. So in the 3 decades of peace education in the Philippines, the different youth sectors, not only students, but the youth in the different sectors in the Philippines, like for example, the peace education among the youth and the community or in the village. And as you can see in the picture, there are children who are also involved in this peace education process in the Philippines because, you know, conflict in the Philippines happened in the southern part of the Philippines. So as you can see in the picture, all those students who are in their senior high school or in the middle school are taking their place specifically for the Muslim because, you know, peace education in the Philippines also occurred with our Muslim brothers in southern Philippines. And also those young children are also engaged in the peace education, where you can see here a photo with the foreign counterparts of the Philippines. These young children are now able and are sharing their, you know, their thinking on the peace process. When it comes to, you know, tree planting is also engaged in peace education, and that is the sustainability, and there's the coexistence in the peace education. So peace education is both important in the peace building strategy. It is an effective way of preventing violent conflict because, you know, we cannot deny the fact that every country has the role for peace education, and we need to stop all of this violent conflict, specifically what is now happening in Myanmar. So there's the youth in Myanmar also play a pivotal role in how this conflict between the military government, within the people, and within the administration of the former presidents now happening in Myanmar. So peace education really play a very important role. So there are different vision of peace in the common elements. We have the justice for the landless, because, you know, in the Philippines, that is one of the reason why there's always a conflict. There is what we call, you know, justice for those who are jobless and those who have land titles, specifically the indigenous people. There is also sustainability in the delivery of the DBS, and also the respect for differences, and that is a cultural identity between the different, you know, indigenous people in the Philippines. And of course, they need to protect themselves and promote the human rights. There's also an absence of the armed conflict. When you say armed conflict, that's the militarization and the different parts in the world, and also in the Philippines. And the answer for this, for the inner peace, there should have what we call a good governance. So the levels of peace, I know everybody knows about this. It's a peace between the humans and the earth beyond the global peace, the harmony with the nature, the harmony with others, and of course, the harmony within ourselves. So when we say peace, that is well-functioning government, equitable distribution of the different resources, the free flow of information. There should have a good relationship with our neighbors. We need to love our neighbors, the high levels of human capital, acceptance of the rights of others, and low level of corruption. And that is also included in the peace education. And right now, there is the COVID-19 pandemic or the outbreak. We need to sound a business environment, because there are many countries like the Philippines has been affected by the outbreak. So when we say peace, there's a negative and there's a positive peace. So negative peace in the absence of direct violence. Positive peace is direct peace, structural violence, and we need the structural peace, and there's what we call the cultural violence, and we need the cultural peace. So that's all. Thank you very much. That's my contribution to the 3 decades of peace education in the Philippines.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Now we have Professor Pinky Shah from Bangladesh.
Yes, sir. I'm here. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I can't see you. Yeah, madam.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening.
Would you be a bit louder, ma'am? We can't hear you well.
Yeah, sure.
You have to be loud a bit.
Yeah, sure. Is it okay, sir?
Yeah, a bit more, a bit more.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening. Shubho
Yes.
Shondha. Bonjour. Assalamu alaikum. Namaste. I am Pinky Shah, Professor, ULab School of Business, Dhaka, Bangladesh. My special gratitude to Charles Walter Society for Innovation and Research, President Dr. Abhishek Pandey, and founder Dr. Smita Tiwari, and the entire team. I'm happy to be here in the presence of such a fantastic speakers across the globe and for a great cause of world peace. Yes, peace is a prerequisite for equality and human security. The UN Security Council Resolution 1325 in its 20th anniversary also declared the women, peace and security first in its agenda. Distinguished audience, is the fact that women and men differ in their physical, cultural, security, and sanitary needs. And this is how we are being created. Often the disease outbreak, wars, and crises affect men and women disproportionately. We want to minimize this gap of disparity, which is violations of human rights in the name of gender disparity almost everywhere. This became noticeable in current pandemic. We will not succeed unless we empower all. So we have to take initiatives to address their root causes. We know that in recent times, the globalization, literacy, and social awareness are playing incredible role in women empowerment. On the contrary, the recent Global Gender Gap Report and the SDG Progress Report says women still held proportionately fewer managerial and parliament positions, which ultimately limiting girls' career ambition because of gender stereotype attitude. We need to promote gender equality through equity for the sake of basic human rights. More women's voices and leadership, which will diversify employees' perceptions, strengthen the teams, and will offer greater resource for problem solving. Dear audience, but there are hard truths too. Let me share one of the incident. In 2015, India Economic Summit, in an interview after the Wimbledon victory with the trophy, the tennis champion Sania Mirza was asked a question: what are your plans for motherhood? What kind of question is it with a tennis champion? So as if you are a woman, you are not just complete no matter what you do if you don't become a mother. Why yet this taboo? Then how about a common woman? A research also says women with children experience the motherhood as a penalty because it's a combination of years not working due to interruptions. We can see the downtrend in the number of newborns in some parts of the world. The Mercer report also highlights on women in financial services that women enter with the same ambition level as men, but still they are widely underrepresented in executive boards and very few at the top. There is high exit rate of women during mid-careers too. But the interesting point is, another study also shows that the company profits and share performance becomes higher when women are well represented at the top. Even the peace talks, the environmental problems, and the pandemic challenges are well identified by the women leaders irrespective of their age. Conventionally, women generally accomplish unpaid household work and care work in family, regardless of their working and non-working status. Unfortunately, yet placed at the bottom of occupational hierarchy, generally undervalued and lack recognition. Many women still lack basic freedom and opportunities and face huge inequalities in the world of work. The scenario is not different in Bangladesh too. Girls and women still learn less, earn less, and have far fewer assets and smaller farm plots and face discriminatory laws and norms that constrain their time, choices, health, and security. This gender bias is one of the root causes of struggles. Women's and men's rights and opportunities should not depend on whether they are born male or female. We need a paradigm shift in thinking and working. Equalizing numbers does not necessarily result in gender balance. Similarly, Treating everyone same does not bring gender equality. We need equity, distributing resources based on the need, not same resources to all for the ultimate goal of peace and security. How to deal with the existing constraints? I believe the gender intelligence attitude, the understanding of and the appreciation for the naturally occurring characteristics in male and female might work. The public and private sector's actions for equity to bring equality by education, training, flexible work arrangements, maternity and paternity leaves, daycare facilities, etc., might bridge the gap. We know that currently this COVID crisis has added higher degree of challenges. Many women became the victim of domestic violence, and many working women are forced to leave their jobs. So we will end up with far fewer women in the leadership. Raising positive gender awareness, gender diversity, and gender inclusion, not only among the men, but also among women and other genders are prerequisite. Finally, the evidences from world reveal that when women have more influence over economic decisions, their families allocate more of their income on food, health, education, and well-being. Empowered women have greater capacity to respond to the change, spreading knowledge, and urging actions in bringing peace. I am overwhelmed to see a good number of women speakers at this platform. I am optimistic. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Well, thank you very much, ma'am. And you were right that, of course, that's how we call it Mother India and Mother Universe. So salute to all the ladies, the wonderful ladies around, and all for you people are working. And that's a great recognition. I'm very, very thankful to you for this wonderful deliberation.
Thank you.
Well, now we have Mr. David D. Parodin, English linguist from Thailand.
Yes, great, wonderful. Wow, I feel a little lost here because the speakers before me were magnificent.
Yes.
My goodness. Okay, well, good evening. In Thailand, it's 8:42 p.m.
Oh.
My name is David Parodin. I am the English language specialist and the journal manager for the Scopus Indexed Journal of Population and Social Studies with the Institute for Population and Social Research at Mahidol University in Bangkok, Thailand. I have dedicated my professional life to researching characteristics of teaching and learning the English language. I predominantly study activities related to the privileging and marginalizing of foreign teachers of English, as well as the anxiety stemming from learning English as a foreign or second language. Thank you for the opportunity to share with you my understanding of peace. I remember about 10 years ago reading a statement by Dr. Ron Epstein, a former lecturer in the philosophy department at San Francisco State University. He said that peace or war is our decision. Peace is not hopeless, nor is it out of our hands. I often ask myself, if I do not do anything to help foster peace, then who will? In the late 18th century, Edmund Burke wrote that when bad men combine, the good must associate, else they will fall one by one, an unpitied sacrifice in a contemptible struggle. Although the sentiment is well-intentioned, Edmund Burke is often misquoted as saying that the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. The focus of Burke's statement, or yet warning, was that good people must come together to battle the attack against peace by those who want war. Burke understood the divide and conquer algorithm. He warned us that those who desire war will try to separate and conquer those who desire peace. In over half a century on this earth, yes, I'm 50 years old, I know, yes. I have learned to be what I believe the most valuable lesson about peace. Peace begins within me. Allow me to elaborate very quickly. I have come to learn that peace, just as war, is a contagion. Those who desire peace will thrive to make others content, while those who desire war will make others miserable. Those who desire peace are generous and thoughtful. They practice charity. They demonstrate love, regardless of their nationality, culture, or political or religious views. In contrast, those who desire war are greedy, inconsiderate, ruthless. They hate everyone and everything that is different from what they believe to be true. I remember when I was a young boy, I innocently believed that peace in the world would be so easy. We only had to accept that people are different, not right or wrong, simply different. And we should celebrate our differences. Then later, as a young man, I realized that this belief was just a foolish dream of a child. It is easy for one to become cynical once we think we understand the world around us. You see, just like most of you, when I was a child, my society taught me that my culture, my nationality, and my faith could offer the only correct interpretation of the world and of the afterlife. I was taught to hate others for the color of their skin, for their nationality, or for their abstract political or abstract religious beliefs. Later in life, I had just about given up that the hearts and minds of people would never change, until I traveled outside of my country. I have met the most extraordinary people from many different countries, nationalities, ethnicities, cultures, who speak the most beautiful languages. I have shared unique foods with strangers. I have visited different places of worship, mosques, temples, churches. I have sat with indigenous families who still practice animism, where the only form of communication we had was body language. I've created bonds and memories which will stay with me forever. And you know, I've never been at odds with anyone about anything during my travels. Why? You see, I realized the answer to peace was with me all along. The young boy's dreams were not foolish. They were sincere. He realized that everyone is different and that we should celebrate our differences. Peace happens when we understand that our culture, our nationality, our political and religious beliefs are simply abstract creations of us, of our society, and that these abstract creations are not the only correct worldview. Let me leave you with this. Peace begins within us. Learn to love the differences in others. Learn to accept that you do not have all the answers. Learn that your faith or your political views are not the only way. Learn to find common ground with others. Learn to love each other. See, after all, I guess the foolish dream of the young boy was not so foolish after all. Peace does begin within me. Peace begins within us, you and I. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, David. I appreciate your wonderful words, and it was English running all together. Thank you. Thank you very much. And we could make out. Yeah. God bless you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Now we have Dr. Frolian Mobo, researcher from Philippines.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Yes.
So,
please go ahead.
am I audible?
Yes, you're very well. Come on, please.
So, first, I'll do my speech, then I'll just present a little presentation. So, good evening. I'm Ambassador Dr. Frolian D. Mobo, working as Ambassador at Large at the International Human Rights Movement, and also as Assistant Research Director to the Philippine Merchant Marine Academy. So, as a humanitarian advocate, it is very important to help and lead a humanitarian group that can help give support to our community, especially to the church and poor communities. We always strengthen our vision and mission in achieving the core principles of sustainability, development, and growth towards transformation of its nation building into peace and loving community that is not engaged in any violence. We make sure that every individuals within the community are fairly treated by giving them food and other basic support that can aid their basic needs and also train them to be more self-reliant in terms of livelihood projects. So I would like to share our structure in the IHRM Philippines and some of our accomplishments so far. So let me share my slide. So
yeah, please.
This is a newly created group. So we have this group. This is a newly created group as of January of this year. So the vision of the international human rights movement is dedicated to protecting the human rights of people around the world and promoting the culture of peace among the nations. So we stand with victims and activists to prevent discrimination and to uphold political freedom and to protect people from inhumane conduct in wartime and to bring offenders to justice. And we also investigate and expose human rights violations and hold abusers accountable. We challenge governments and those who hold power to end abusive practice and respect international human rights law. We enlist the public and the international community to support the cause of human rights for all and create like-minded partners to achieve goals in the world top organizations and key institutions. So my function as an ambassador at large right now is to represent our country in the Philippines in terms of inhumane or violations against human rights, then by presenting that as what we are doing right now. So that's all. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Now we have Professor Albino Maggiani, Italian Diplomat Services, Italy. Professor Albino from Italy. Okay. Dr. Azila Azmi, professor from Malaysia.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, please. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Diraj. Assalamualaikum. Good day, good morning, good evening. And namaste to everyone. Thank you, Dr. Abhishek Pandey, for inviting me to participate in this World Peace Summit. It is my pleasure and privilege to be part of the summit with all of you. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic that changed the whole world, it also brings us together because we still can meet virtually with all the participants from all around the world. My name is Azila. I am associate professor from one of the biggest university in Malaysia, University Technology Mara. I'm currently attached to the Faculty of Hotels and Tourism Management. So in our university, we not only practice peace through education, but also through our daily life. The moment we smile to each other, we are promoting peace. The moment we accept everyone's point of view, the moment we are allowed to speak freely, actually it's a practice of peace, okay? So today, as a tourism academic, I would like to discuss on sustainable tourism and world peace. Okay, the question here is, does tourism really promote peace and understanding, or is it just a tool of sustainable development? So there has been an ongoing debate among the academics, tourism practitioners, and government policymakers about the relationship between tourism and peace. So tourism explains the movement of people that crossing over cultural boundaries from all over the world for the purpose of business, study, pleasure, or leisure. So it is believed that tourism is a strategy to promote peace by solving the problem of poverty and also unemployment and etc. So in a short period of time, I can say that tourism was perceived as to contribute to the promotions and also advancement of world peace, okay? So tourism also can be a vital force for world peace by bridging the cultures and physiological gaps between people across the globe. tourism, there's assumptions that when people travel to foreign destination, they in turn have a good experience and positive interaction with their host. So thus in turn creating a goodwill and a lasting friendship between those two countries. Although we cannot travel, we cannot cross the border now, but we still can meet virtually. And people start to looking for this kind of virtual tour because since they cannot travel, okay? The more tourists who do this, the more likely there will be a peace. This is a big process, but from individual to societies, and hence, nation will bring about peace as a result. There is no doubt that tourism is a growing part of the world. Although we cannot travel, but we can see virtually, we keep looking for a package tour. And in fact, if you go to any social media, you can see a lot of virtual tour being offered to you. Yeah, even me, myself, I'm a traveler, but because I was banned to travel because of this pandemic, but I keep looking for the things that excite me the most, which is traveling, learning about new culture, learning about how people talk, people dress, people believe. Okay, this is interesting part of the world, okay? So what can I conclude here? By traveling around the world, there is a universal agree upon that if people from different country and culture knew each other, they will realize that there's so much similarity as Dr. David said just now. We need to learn to love each other. We need to learn to find a common ground between us, okay? Peace is in you, okay? It's all in us, okay? So let's raise together, let's learn together, let's love each other more. So I wish all of you peace, happiness, and joy. Thank you. Assalamualaikum. Wish you all a good day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. May peace prevail on earth. I pray for all of you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam, from Malaysia. Now we have Engineer Kitsos Tripos, author and engineer from Greece.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Excellent. Thank you for inviting me in this wonderful summit, where I heard excellent individuals exposing their understanding of peace and the way to achieve it. In addition to being an engineer, I'm also a theoretical physicist with postgraduate studies in England, and I will speak in this capacity. My name is Kitsos Tripos, and I'm the author of the book, The Meaning of Order and the Non-Linear Interpretation of Reality. It claims that everything in nature develops around a circle, self-referentially and thus eternally, producing always the turbulence observed, while our mind is always compelled to depict reality linearly from an assumed beginning, just like the Big Bang theory. I will now attempt to explain in a few words how this discrepancy between our linear understanding and the non-linearity of objective reality delivers us always to conflict and depriving us from living in peace. Our mind is compelled to produce always a linear and thus rational description from a fixed frame of reference, while on the contrary, reality being self-referential and thus eternal offers no fixed frame of reference and is thus on the whole rationally indecipherable. We also know this from quantum mechanics, which is also a non-linear theory, non-rational and thus unintelligible, while unlike every other theory, it depicts reality accurately always, simply because the solution to Schrödinger's equation inherently admits that everything develops around a circle, urging the physicists that developed the particular theory 100 years ago to attempt to verse themselves on Buddhism, urging them also, to Einstein's dismay, to attempt only a probabilistic approach to Schrödinger's equation so as not to offend our linear understanding. I guess this is the reason I've been asked to talk to this World Peace Summit, as this self-referential description of reality offered by the theory, The Meaning of Order, amazingly amounts to a mathematical description of Buddhism. Furthermore, while a linear description divides knowledge into fields, delivering what is called segregation of knowledge. Self-referentiality allows us to wrap all knowledge into a single description by completing the circle and providing thus order. In short, in its attempt to establish the reality of the part and the reality of identity, the mind creates necessarily only a linear description of reality, which in turn cannot decipher reality accurately. This gives rise to the discrepancy between the linearity of our description and the non-linearity of objective reality. This alone results in a restless mind that always races to create yet another linear description, having concluded that the previous one was inadequate. The same happens to the linear scientific theories developed, which are always destined to be superseded by others. This also results in inner conflict, as linearity, not being able to complete a circle, cannot reach order. Such inner conflict is the reason that peace is forever unattainable, unless, of course, the individuals alter their description or else undergo a revolution of consciousness, as foretold by Jiddu Krishnamurti. Yet, the theory of the meaning of order makes things much more tangible. This is because the linear mind that is always compelled to provide a rational and thus linear description cannot reach order or truth, while also the only thing that promises to deliver order in such a linear description is suppression. So we have built a society that firmly believes in suppression as the only means to deliver order, but in vain. And this is exactly the reason which delivers us always to outer conflict. I say all this in the hope that we may realize that only a revolution of consciousness may deliver us to peace, while also the theory of the meaning of order paves the way to such understanding. So consequently, no one in particular is ever responsible for a society being in a state of conflict. It is the linearity of our mind that is responsible and which must be transcended in order that peace may be reached. So please have some compassion, as in this indivisible universe, we're all one, simply because the reality of the part is shown to be only an illusion created by the linearity of our mind. So there is no action that can bring peace on earth other than the individual's successful effort to transcend the linearity of one's mind. Society will necessarily follow. The theory of the meaning of order is represented on Facebook and YouTube by a homonymous page and channel. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. And maths was being reflected. Engineering was being reflected, and peace can be made possible through this as well. Thank you very much for this wonderful deliberation, wonderful sharing. God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have Dr. Hatem Slimane, researcher from Tunisia. Dr. Hatem. Okay. Then we have Dr. Sophie Nubani from USA. She, as our special guest today, Dr. Sophie Nubani from USA.
Blessings, blessings, and namaste. How are you?
Very fine.
It's such a delight and opening of my heart and soul to hear such beautiful sharings and different perspectives of the world. I am Dr. Sophie Nubani. I am an international creative mindset strategist, NLP trainer, and executive coach. I'm also the founder of the Circle of Creative Masters Institute and an award-winning best-selling author of Optimize Your Creative Mindset book series. And today I am so honored and grateful to be participating in such an amazing and noble summit, because I really believe what Nelson Mandela says once, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So basically, when we are educated about something and informed about something, we can act and also respond better to circumstances and life altogether. I'm an advocate of interfaith harmony, multiculturalism, and also cross-cultural intelligence. I do certifications on curiosity intelligence, creativity intelligence, and cross-cultural intelligence. The reason I'm so passionate about that is because it all starts by practicing curiosity. It is for that of which we can grow and also become more empathic and understanding and knowledgeable. A curious mind listens to understand. And when we adopt skills like active listening, I really believe we can solve a lot of issues in the world, because a lot of the reasons why we have conflict is the feeling that we are not understood, that we don't relate. And part of anything starting is we have to really fully be present and understanding the power of being aware as a foundation of how we can proceed to solving problems and complex matters, to choose freely, to think critically, to develop enlightened values and good life philosophies that we can teach the youth at a very young age to adapt to such new neural pathways and patterns of the mind. And by leading with our good example, we are able to cultivate and harness such skills and abilities. I am a global citizen and officially registered. And I encourage those who are not aware that they also can be global citizens by actually registering on globalcitizens.org and even participating, contributing, or even working. And the goal is, and the aim of that is to diminish poverty by 2030 and to participate as a collaborative, collective force, united with such amazing mission that we see this concept transcends political views and personal identity. That when we start practicing holistic thinking, applying the betterment of all in the end of our mind is really when results and true peace is harnessed within. I really encourage every one of us on this summit to connect further, as I feel the connection is deep by actually attending. And I salute the organizers of such a beautiful organization for being present and offering such awareness and world collaborative forces to come in, dedicating this beautiful time together. I would like to end, I like this prophase, let me just read it so I read it correctly. It's a Chinese proverb, and Latazhu said it. If there's to be peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there is to be peace in the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there is to be peace in the cities, there must be peace between neighbors. If there's to be peace between neighbors, there must be peace in the home. And if there's to be peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart. And in the end, peace, like a lot of us have shared and know, starts within. And once we practice being more mindful and aware, we are able to radiate and project this peace outwards. And I really believe in actually truly understanding the power of mindsets, and specifically a growth mindset that encourages learning and growing and interacting with no judgment, with respect to cultures, traditions, and backgrounds, in order for us to transcend tribal mentality and behavior, and to actually invite divergent thinkings with all the possibilities that could be, by idea generating and optimizing a creative mindset and applying the convergent thinking, strategic thinking, and abstract everything that we are able to conclude by actually practicing process of curiosity, challenging facts and myths that could be not true to begin with, and then considering what we are challenging, and then concluding what would be the best outcome based on holistic thinking. Thank you so much. I'm Dr. Sophie Nubani, and I'm grateful to be amongst all of you. Blessings and namaste.
Thank you. Thank you. Cheers to you and the expertise you gathered by making us all believe in you. God bless you. Wonderful deliberations, great learning from your words, and it went into our hearts, and we are going to be working the talk. Yeah. So I speak on behalf of everybody, thanking you and making it a priority for today. Thank you, so Dr. Sophie Nubani from USA. Now we have Despina Malidou, educationist from Greece. Despina.
Hello, everybody. Hello again from Greece.
Hi. Yes, over to you.
First of all, I would like to express my gratitude for being part of this International World Summit. I am in the same mindset as Sophie Nubani and David Perodin. Let me share my screen and share few of my thoughts with you.
Yeah, most welcome, most welcome.
Okay, can you all see it?
Yes, yes.
So I've been a teacher of English for nearly 30 years now.
Okay, David will be happy to know that. Good.
I just graduated my master on positive psychology. I'm a developer also of educational materials. And world peace. What is world peace? Or peace on earth is the concept of an ideal state of happiness, freedom, and peace within and among all people and nations on planet Earth. Where war destroys and tears apart, peace builds, strengthens, and restores. Allow me to share a small piece from Greek mythology. A goddess called Irene, which is the goddess of peace in Greek mythology. So she was depicted in art as a beautiful young woman carrying a cornucopia full of abundance and wealth. There's a three-level theoretical framework to define peace. An individual peace within the human person, social peace, relationships between people and social groups, and of course, political peace, ethical values, political infrastructures, and accountability of actors and institutions in charge of peace and security. In order to bring peace to the world, we first must bring peace to our families, to our classrooms. In order to work peace in our classrooms, we need to work peace with ourselves, to take care of our inner peace. A peaceful individual is at peace with God, with oneself, and with others, and has no conflict with any of them. Consequently, the individual's thoughts, actions, and words are also formed on the basis of this internal and multilateral peace. How can we work? How can we experience inner peace and enjoy life on a deeper, satisfying level? Focus our attention on those things we can control. Spend time in nature. Be true to ourselves. Mind what we eat. Exercise on a regular basis. Do good deeds. Be assertive. Meditate. It is very important to start working with our inner peace. In that way, we can act as role models to our students and teach them peace. And when time comes and they get important positions and need to make decisions for the future of this planet, they will act accordingly, according to what we have taught them. This is my humble contribution to this wonderful summit. Congratulations to the organizers for all the work and dedication they have shown on that. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for being so short, so crisp, and meaningful, I should be saying. So God bless you.
I'm a teacher. Don't forget that.
Oh, then you should continue. Anyway, we all are teachers. We all are, being a parent also is a teacher, So thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. You can kindly close your presentation.
Oh, this is mine. I'm the next one.
Yeah. Yes, you are next. Anthi Koliara, academician from Greece, over to you.
Okay. I think you are in big trouble when you are trying to pronounce my name.
I thought of X being silent and I called it Anthi.
It happens many times. So, my name is Xanthi Kouliara. I'm from Greece, from a small island. My happiness interrupted with a strong earthquake 5 minutes before, but thank God we are safe, so I came back. I'm going to speak to you about peace building and conflict resolution. Before that, I need to thank Charles Walters Society for Innovation and Research for giving me the chance to share with you my thoughts about peace. I am a primary school principal, also the president of a European organization named Nancy GR, and ambassador in projects central actions of European Union. And the last 3 years I work as a mentor in New York Academy of Sciences.
Thank you. Thank you. Please go ahead.
I will start with why we all are here to share thoughts, because we have a common desire to live in a world of peace and harmony. I need to remind to all of us that God is said, be the change you want to see in the world.
Yes.
Only if you believe it, you can do it. Also, very wise are the words of UNESCO. Since wars begin in the minds of men, it is the minds of men that defenses of peace must be constructed. Why? I will explain you with some thoughts. I need to agree with Mr. Perodin about how conflict begins within the individual. It begins from us. It's an internal process. It's all about selfishness and unselfishness. What I mean with that? Sorry, it takes some seconds to change the slide. Okay, it changed. Because our purposes come out of our mind. I think.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you. We have a non-stop process between our purposes. When it starts from mind, we are talking about the whole process, and when it starts from body, we're talking about the process. We need to keep the balance. How to do that? First of all, as Nelson Mandela said, the first thing is to be honest with yourself. You can never have an impact on society if you have not changed yourself. That's why we need to be transformed from our selfishness condition to unselfishness one. When we live only for ourselves, this is going to be a really important basis for conflicts. When we'll manage to live for the others, it's a healthy basis for harmony. Does fighting resolve conflict? We need all to remember the results of world wars and any local wars, and we have all the answers that we need. The basis for conflict resolution is, again, a non-stop process. As we said before, when we have a state of harmony and we lose the balance, then we go to a state of conflict and the opposite. That's why we need to have all the factors in balance. That means we need to sacrifice our selfishness in order to have unselfishness. We have to correct our wrong. To be right with not only with ourselves and with the people around us, and also to restore all the broken relationships, to have a loving relationship and a peaceful one. And now it's time to remember what Martin Luther King said. We never get rid of an enemy by meeting hate with hate. We get rid of an enemy by getting rid of enmity. That means we need to work a lot with ourselves and then to do our next steps with the people around us. I'm sorry to be late for seconds, but it takes time to change the slide. So how to conflict resolution? We need to address whatever caused the other to feel hurt and violated, to be open, also to seek the correct injustices, to give up claim for retaliation, to forgive, to be open to receive forgiveness, to resolve to help the other to change and foster goodwill. We don't have magic sticks. We have to work very hard if we want to be and to have peace around us and to live in a peaceful way. Actions to peace are humility, generosity, and any kind of services, even giving to those who have done one harm. That converts the enemy into a friend and also reverses ancient patterns of abuse and revenge. What is needed? We need leadership centered on true love and also ambassadors for peace. We don't mean those VIP people that, of course, they help a lot with the peace issues around the world. We mean every one of us. We all should be ambassadors for peace in any way we can. I'm sure that the most of us, I hope all of us, we know the Sustainable Development Goals. They are 17, and if we want to be peaceful and to have wellness, we need to support all of those goals by creating programs and participate in them. Also with sport competitions, cultural programs, dialogue between religions, women as peacemakers, and also education for all. If we try hard, we can reach all those goals, but we need to work all together as a team. And also, we need to remember, unfortunately, that COVID-19 is still around us. So we need to take care and stay safe. Some of us, we cannot do our duties because we cannot travel, we cannot cooperate and collaborate face to face. That's why we need to be patient and careful in order in a few months to be better and to have our life back. How we can design innovative actions to protect peace and to live in a qualitative way. We need to cooperate with people that they do this kind of actions. For example, entrepreneurs, tech companies, governments, development consultancies, and of course, philanthropic organizations. If we work with them in a systematic way, we can help a lot of people and at the same time to be innovative. I have all my resources and some resources that you can find a lot of stuff if you want to go further. And also I want to sum up with Nelson Mandela's quote, it always seems impossible until it is done. So let's try all together to be done and to have a peaceful planet. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, madam. It was really wonderful to know about your initiatives and the wonderful job you're doing, and cautious about COVID. Of course, we need to take care. We all need to take care. Thank you very much for your deliberation and participation. Now we have Dr. Alzara Mandor, professor from Egypt. Dr. Alzara.
Hello, doctor. Yes, hello, I'm here with you. Thank you so much for calling me and giving me this chance to participate in this on such an international amazing summit. I would like to greet everyone here today. Warm greeting from Cairo, Egypt, the most amazing city all over the world. And from here we spread peace and we spread education, learning. Yes, let me tell you that I am a lecturer of English language at Heliobras University, and this university is called Heliobras University for Sustainable Development, which is the first organization in Egypt which works for sustainable development. So this university actually founded by Dr. Ibrahim Abu Aish, who won a similar prize like Nobel Prize in 2012. And we are specialized in sustainable development, and actually all the faculties and all the majors at this university go to and tend to special or sustainable development. So today I'm going to talk with you more about peace, but first of all, before talking about peace, I would like to greet heavily and especially Dr. Sufi. So Sufi actually inspired me. Thank you so much for your great words that you actually talked about. So let me share with you my screen now.
Yeah, please, most welcome. And let me tell you, we all are learning from each other. It's a great learning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So today I'm going to talk about peace education and sustainable development as well. So let's first of all define what's peace education. So peace education regarding UNICEF, it refers to the process of promoting the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values needed to bring about behaviors change that will enable children, youth, and adults to prevent conflict and violence, both overt, structural, and resolve conflict peacefully.
Doctor, can you play your screen? Can you play the screen, please?
Yeah, sure. Yes. Okay, just a second.
Play it. No, play it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Is it okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. This is great. And to create the conditions to conduce peace, whether at an interpersonal or an interpersonal, intergroup, national or international level. So as well, peace education regarding PAJAG aimed at raising learners' critical consciousness must provide students with an accurate understanding of their social and political context while stimulating focusing attention towards possibilities for action and change. So yeah, let me tell you that one of the learning methods of peace education is cooperative learning. So cooperative learning means giving opportunities for participants and students to work together and learn rather than compete with each other. Cooperative learning, aside from increasing motivation to learn, improves relations among students, challenges individualism, and listens just to feel we're one unit and so on. So let me tell you that this is here the main perspective in our university. So let me talk more about Hillbrook University for Sustainable Development. So the vision of our university as a pioneer scientific situation that strives for the sustainable development of individual consciousness, economic, social justice, and environmental balance in Egypt and the world. Our mission as well, we empower our students to be the champions of sustainable development in different spheres of life. We provide a fertile ground for new ideas that need to further research and study. Our education combines teaching, research, and practice with a uniquely humanistic core program to develop curious and creative minds. So this is our secret in the university, which is the core program. So what's core program? First of all, let me talk more about sustainable development. So sustainable development here in our university, we define as that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Our approach to sustainable development goes beyond this definition to include a holistic worldview, seeing the world as an integrated whole rather than a disjointed collection of parts. This means striving for a future where a human being can unfold their potential. This is our main target in our university, which is we always unfold the students' potential, and as well the staff members, where humankind lives together in social forms reflecting human dignity, and where all economic activity is conducted in accordance with ecological and ethical principles. So the core program, which is the main thing and the main part of our university. So the core program actually here is an integrated learning experience that aims to develop the students' capacity for innovation and social responsibility. Though the core program courses, we actually offer through this program different courses, interactive learning, the areas of those courses are interactive, what aims to interactive learning, challenging learning, communicative learning as well. So the areas of this program are languages, arts. So we here, yes, we offer some culture, some development, and some innovation courses, some social sciences, and as well human rights and nature and community courses. So like, for example, deep ecology and maybe evolution, as well biology and Egyptology as well. So the students from different majors, from different faculties should learn or should actually take those courses during the years of the study, of their study at the university. One of the amazing courses in our core program, which is called Rhythmy. Rhythmy, this is here, let me tell you that our university is the only place that teach or that offer this course all over Egypt. So this course means, or this maybe subject aims more the body movement and the relation between the body movement and the soul. So the body and its various dimensions will be consciously experienced in space and time through movement, to observe with awareness and finding relationships from the own body to the surrounding human fellows and the environment is essential, as well as self-management exercises. Also, social competences that like teamwork, skills will be trained. Rhythm, group dynamic, being present just with your body and its present are content. Through this course, students and as well the staff members learn how can they relate their maybe gestures, their movement, their body with the environment. So actually, we offer this course, we offer this subject to the students at the university and as well to the staff academic members. And as well, we offer a course for the music. So it's an individual as well as a global language in music. One develops an interest personal, mental, and social skills. An overview of the music history and music appreciation. It's not just music, but only here we offer or we teach students through the music, how can they relate as well to the world? How can they connect to the world? How can they analyze the world through the music, the musical forms? As well, yeah, some fine arts. So learners or students from different majors, from different aspects, from different fields, they learn fine arts. For example, like drawing. It's not only drawing to draw, but it's just only to communicate with each other, to create at the end such a great and amazing work at the end. So we essentially contribute to get to know various painting techniques and experiences of different quality of colors. Colors here affect the human soul and the environment. The course here will actually serves to enhance the ability to make exact and objective observations. Also, it gets an overview of the history of art in order to learn different styles and points of view. And finally, the acting. Can you imagine that the students actually learn acting courses? Just this course actually aims on body language, vocal expressions, dealing with the others, dealing with breath and presence as well. The basics of acting are basics for the daily life, performance, and professional career. It covers also the study of characters, coordination of opposite roles, and handling different emotions, storytelling, and poetry reactions. For example, so let me tell you something more, that we actually at our university, we have something which is called an event, a weekly event, which is called a Space of Culture. This event actually is held weekly, every week. Actually, we hear on this event, it's about 1.5 hours or 2 hours weekly. No lectures at that time, no events, no meetings, only the staff, academic members, and as well the students go to the theater to attend a performance, musical performance, maybe acting performance, maybe a kind of musicians. They come to the university to present and show their performance to our university, to our students. So here, yeah, we believe that those courses or those aspects, those fields like acting, music, history, we actually have a lot of experience regarding history and Egyptology. We teach our students Egyptology, the science of Egypt history. It's only, this science only exists in Egypt regarding our civilization and monuments as well in the past. So we believe that all the students should be graduated after this. So this not only specialist like pharmacist or maybe a teacher or maybe a translator or maybe physician. No, they should be human before starting their careers. So as well, we have for academic staff members, we have a meeting weekly, which is called pedagogy. This meeting actually is held every week on Wednesday. In that meeting, we start this meeting as well by a piece of music, and then we read a call for Dr. Ibrahim Boulaish, and then we start our meeting to discuss the current debates, the crucial topics all over the world, not only here in Egypt. One of the most majors that we discuss regularly in our meetings is that something called the economy of love. So we stress and focus on that, and we always aim to make Egypt in the future better and better. That's our aim, and I would like actually to transform this experience and our experience of our university, what we do in our university, to the world. Thank you so much for giving me this chance one more time, and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for this wonderful sharing. I must appreciate. And this is a very, very good way of practicing, peace, aiming at the sustainable development goals as our priorities, because that is going to be one of the ways of assuring and implementing and exploring the idea of peace in and around.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much. Now we have a gentleman from Italy, Professor Albino. Professor Albino.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, please go ahead. Please. Yeah, you're most welcome. Yeah, we can see you. We can see you. Please. Madam, you can just close your slide.
Pardon?
I was talking to Dr. Alzara. Kindly stop your slide so that the next speaker can use it. Thank you very much. Over to you, Professor.
Well, a good day to everyone. And my name is Albino Maggioni. I'm Italian, but work and live in London for the Italian Cultural Institute. And we are the government official organization for promoting Italian culture in UK. I feel very honored and delighted to have come to see all your wonderful speeches and presentation. It's really a heartwarming experience that if I were a Martian that was coming to Earth today, I would think, oh, wow, what a wonderful planet Earth is. But we know that unfortunately, in reality, it's not always like that. What can I say? Yes, it's true that peace must come first from our heart, and unless we have it within ourselves, we will never be able to spread this message or this reality with other people. I think I don't want to repeat all the points that have been made throughout this conference. I know that perhaps and everything is revolved towards the future for the students, for those, and I see that in the intellectual and academic world, I know these subjects are quite felt and summarized in a very what I want to say, and anyway, is we should also look a bit in the past, because sometimes war happens, and that's what I believe, is because the ghost of the past come to revisit our reality. And in the past, I'm talking about centuries ago, there has been many, many terrible happenings. And probably the people that was back then is still the people we have here today. We haven't really changed much. The feeling that we're moving people then are still the feeling that move people us now. So we must be careful. And what I want to say is that the path to peace does not mean make society blindly uniform. And getting people to work together and sharing is a very basic and important thing, side by side, pursuing goals that benefits everyone. Human rights, dignity is a very important element for promoting peace. And it reminded me, while I was here, it reminded me of I don't know whether many of you know the document of human fraternity that was signed in Abu Dhabi in 2019 between Pope Francis and Sheikh Ahmed El Tayeb. You see, this is a very important step towards a more united and together discussion. We also had the...
Okay.
Let's see. Well, what can I say? I want to thank everyone for this wonderful, especially President Pandey and for this peace, for organizing this peace summit.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I've got this extra responsibility to mute the people around. Anyway, thank you very much. And now we have Godfrey Kasede, social reformist from Uganda. Yet, Godfrey, I can see you very well. Please start off. Great evening from India.
Thank you very much, the host. It's a pleasure to be here today to discuss with you people about peace in the world. And it's a wonderful opportunity. My name, as mentioned, I'm Godfrey Kasede, a student at International Islamic University in Uganda, a peace lover, and a family man. To start with, I'll go straight to the discussion shared by various speakers. We almost have the same mindset about peace today in the world. But why peace in this disorganized world? While I was thinking about this thing today, I said to myself, I need to understand the concept, why we need peace on this planet world. Peace means happiness, freedom within and among all people, all nations. To start with, we all need to have peace right from our houses, right from our neighbors, right from our homes, before we go to the global world. In a country where I live in, Uganda, for example, we recently had the presidential elections, where we have come to realize that many people have lost their lives. The young, the old, have all been killed to a certain extent because of those who assume our fought for peace are killing the peace. When we go further, it doesn't leave us with a better feeling. And I hope the world is also watching on what is going on around this country. We have seen different scholars discuss about peace, different religions talk about peace, different philosophers talk about peace. Organizations like UN all adhering and admoning us to go and talk about peace. That's why World Peace Summit is a suitable topic today around the world we live in. In achieving peace in the world, we all need to have knowledge. We all need to be peaceable with one another. We all need to be kind, and we all need to be loving. We have seen that since time in people, many countries have indulged in wars. To them, the so-called world peacemakers, I will mention a few of them. For example, the US, UK, France, Russia, among others. When they fight for peace, they again kill the peace. So it's our responsibility here as a team, virtually as wherever we may be, to put into what we learn from this conference into practice. We starts with us ourselves. We've seen that in 1945, the United Nations and its other Security Council members admoined for peace, but it has not been achieved. We've seen nations attacking nations, brothers attacking brothers. So all this, if we don't put what we are learning into practice, we will be washing a white cloth and then putting it into the dust, which will not be making a sensible outcome out of it. Members around the globe, let's promote peace. Let's sing the song of peace in whatever circumstances we may be in. our background, our religion, our profession. They are engineers, they are professors, they are all of us are peace lovers. And let's continue to admon, to preach what we teach around the globe. I thank you very much, the host, for giving me a chance to say a word or two to the world, and we see how we can promote peace, starting from our homes to the global world. Thank you, and it's an honor to hear and share the same mind with peace lovers from today onwards.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor for all of us to listen to you as well. Thank you very much for your deliberation. Thank you. Now we have Dr. Lee Saw Mim, teacher from Malaysia. Dr. Lee, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. I'm very happy, and it's my pleasure to be part of this wonderful World Peace Summit with the global educators to share my experience about peace in education. Again, thank you Charles Wall Society and Dr. Abhishek for inviting me to this World Summit. I'm Lee Saw Im, a chemistry teacher from Malaysia. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Yeah, please carry on. We can see you.
Okay. So it's my pleasure to having this. So what I'm going to share today is first we look at what is meant by peace. So just now we have heard so many educators share about peace. So this is my research from getting from people. What is about peace? Many people say peace is true acceptance. Peace can be consist of positive thoughts, can be having positive thought about myself or others, or maybe pure feeling, a living harmony. Peace is people get along. Peace is having good feeling inside, and maybe it's good wishes. And peace is also maybe begins with each other of us, and maybe it's a fairness and the communication. So peace, for me, the peace can be 5 levels. It can be personal peace, interpersonal peace, intergroup social peace, global peace, and also peace between humans in the world, on the earth and beyond. So for personal peace is like for self, is more to self-respect and to get love and hope. For the interpersonal, intergroup, and global peace is like to respect others, to get justice, cooperation, and also tolerance. So for personal peace is more to harmony with the self, but for interpersonal, intergroup, and also global peace is more for the harmony of with others. And the peace between human is more to the harmony of the nature. So for peace of education, is we have we will not forget about this SDG goals, the 16 and the 4, because the education is actually can help to promote the peace. And don't forget our 21st of September is actually a Peace World Day. So for me, the peace in education in the school context is like, I can divide it into the 7 levels. So first one is the initiative is to improve the human relationship, develop good attitudes in students and teachers, and promote the healthy emotional development, create societies through participation in learning activities, improve students' discipline and behavior, promote creativity in school community, and also improve the quality of teaching and learning. So like now, quite many countries, including my country, Malaysia, so our school is still closed. So we have, like teachers, we have to conduct the online teaching. So to achieve or to increase the quality of education, we have to improve the quality of teaching and learning as well. So for me, I would like to share next one. It will be the activity that I have conducted since last year's COVID-19's MCO, my school closed. So these are the activities that I have conducted with my students. So one of the example is I bring my student come out from the school, okay, borderless. We join the Microsoft Global Learning Connections. So I bring my student to connect with the global teachers, students around the world, around the globe. So from there, the student can learn peace each other and also among the educators and students from all over the globe. Next, beside that, the climate change, involving in the climate change activity also can promote the peace among the student and also the school community. Another one is like bringing students to participate in the innovation competition. So before they went for the competition, they will do the group discussion, collaboration, and understanding each other. So this is also the way that I create the opportunity for students to embark the peace among the students and the school community. Okay, so here I would like to share with you. I just asked my student, let's say you will become the senior of the school, or maybe you become a leader of a society. How are you going to create a campaign about the peace in the school? So these are the idea of my student I would like to share with you. So you can see our students, they really have very, very creative ideas to carry out the campaigns to promote the peace in the school. So this is one group. Another group also have their another ideas. So you can see the student itself, they actually understand and they know the needs of peace among themselves, and also need to know about the peace so that they can collaborate with a friend and understand each other. So this is another group. This is very good one. They even says that in the class, they have the discussion among the students, establish a special celebration schools where everyone can plan and decorate together. So they love the schools, okay? And they also say that we should treat others how we want to be treated by others. Mutual respect among students. Emphasize religions and moral values in education system. As you know, my country, we are multi-races. So they have the student, they have to learn to respect each other. Say no to bullying. This is come out from my student. I'm really proud of them. Okay, this is another group. It's also very good idea. So I would like to share with all the educators. This is another group. They have different ideas. All of them have wonderful ideas. Again, I repeat, these are the activities that can promote peace in school. So I would like to share again. And peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. So thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much. I appreciate your wonderful doings. And I'm very sure children must be excited to have you in your classroom and learn with full heart and soul. Peace is going to be a great quality asset for all of us, and that too for your children as well. And a teacher like you will certainly bring out wonders in the lives of the children. Thank you very much for sharing and for being a part of this presentation. Now we have Dr. Ghada Tossun Latif, lecturer in Technological University in Egypt.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, ma'am, please go ahead.
Okay, first, I'm so sorry because my camera doesn't work.
Okay.
So let's share my screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see. We can see the screen. Kindly play the screen.
I'll speak about women and.
Yeah, great, great. We
Is it
can see
okay?
that. Yeah, it's
Okay.
perfect. Perfect, madam. Thank you.
Okay. First, I want to mention that peace is a requirement for health, equality, and human security. I want at the beginning to speak about the term of gender. The term gender refers to the historically and culturally developed characteristics, rules, and norms attributed to men and women in society according to their sex. In conflict, men and women are impacted differently, and a differential approach.
But in the presentation.
Yeah, please carry on.
Okay, and differential approach to the way peacemaking is carried out is needed. Responding to men and women's different security and peace-building needs. Men have long been considered the only relevant actors in armed conflict and its resolution. However, women are also greatly affected and involved in conflict, be it as relatives, caretakers, politicians, peace activists, or competitors. Including women in peace processes adds a broader range of perspectives and increases inclusivity and diversity. This enhances the ability of peacemakers to address a broader range of stakeholders and their concerns, which has proven to lead to more sustainable peace. So for this reason, and to answer to its responsibilities stemming from the human rights agenda, the United Nations strongly committed to include women in its peace and security work. Women as peacemaking. Increasing the effectiveness participation of women in peacemaking and the conflict prevention efforts is a key priority. However, despite many global and regional commitments and initiatives, the number of women involved in formal peacemaking processes remains low. And many peace agreements don't include gender provisions that sufficiently address women's security and peace-building needs. The participation of women is critical to the success of any peace-building process. If half the population is excluded or faced discrimination, peace will be impossible to achieve. So, women peace builders bring different perspectives and priorities to men, and their role in establishing the social fabric in the result of conflict is vital. The role of women in peace building is recognized in many international agreements and resolutions, and in 2011 Nobel Peace Prize awarded to 3 women was public recognition for the impact of women peace builders. But whilst women peace builders have made vital contribution to peace process in diverse places such as Northern Ireland, Guatemala, Liberia, the reality remains that women are denied meaningful participation in many peace processes. Also, women can play a different role in peace building since the impact of armed conflict upon both men and women differs greatly. Whilst men comprise the majority of missing and detains populations that result from conflict, they are also primarily prone to be wounded or killed as legitimate target as members of armed forces or group who still largely recruit amongst male population. On the other hand, however, the impact of armed conflict upon women and similarly children is vast. They have increasingly become specific targets of attack and are susceptible to marginalization, poverty, and the associated sufferings engendered by armed conflict. women in refugee and IDP camps, and also whilst face rape, sexual abuse, and a lack of physical security factors, which often lead to further stigmatization with community. Where women are also armed fighters, they tend to shoulder an additional burden assigned by traditional gender rules, which dictate primary responsibility for maintenance of the family and the community during war. Okay, for peace building initiative to remain sustainable in the long term, women must be included in every level of process. For Egyptian women, I will speak specific about Egyptian women. Egypt women has always been its triumphing court. For so many years, women have played a key role in all sectors on all levels. You even won't find an Egyptian revolution without a clear footprint for women in it, starting with the 1919 revolution against the British occupation back then, which was led by political activist Safiya Zaghloul until June 2013. A part of their political contribution, Egyptian women have always been able to adapt different and to social situations, as for years women have done a lot in silence. Some of them got the chance to be known and recognized. Meanwhile, others remained in the shadow without even waiting to be discovered in any way. For example, in 2015, Lisa Abu Doh, who used to dress like a man in Upper Egypt for more than 40 years just to make her living. Later, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi met her saying, "You have honored all Egyptian men and women." Also, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi honored a huge number of women who were described as social fighters. In 2017, was decided to be named the Women's Year here in Egypt as recognition for what they did do for their country. Setting strategies, women always had the priority, as nearly up to 5 governmental strategies were announced during the past years for women empowerment, including Egypt Vision 2030, National Strategy for Empowerment of Egyptian Women 2030, National Strategy to Combat Violence Against Women, National Strategy to Combat Female Genital Mutilation, FGM, and the National Strategy to Combat Child Marriage. In March 2017, he announced and endorsed the empowerment of Egyptian women to be the national policy and guiding document. And empowerment was dedicating amounts from the national budget for child care services and for supporting female breadwinners and poor families. A total of 38 million women were announced by the government to benefit from bread and flour subsidies. 34 million women benefits from food ration cards. 10 million women benefit from health care support. 8 million benefit women from family and reproductive health services. 2.1 million women benefited from loans. And finally, 89% of women were benefiting from social protection programs according to the National Council for Women announcement. Egypt government has recently taken concrete strategic steps to enhance the financial inclusion for women, such as presidential decree has been issued in February 2017 to establish a national Council for Payments, with the President of the Republic being the head of the council, also celebrating the first ever year, 2006, the Economic Empowerment Pillar International Women's Strategy 2030. The National Council for Women signed a memorandum of understanding with the Central Bank of Egypt, which places Egypt as the first country to have its CBE sign an agreement with National Women Machinery worldwide. A total of 38 million women were announced by the government to benefit from many facilities.
Okay.
According to the presentation of National Council for Women.
Okay.
Egypt.
Yeah, we can't hear you anymore, so probably you can just conclude your session. There's some breaking in the voice.
Okay, it is the last slide for me. Okay. I want to say that March is a month for women, as we celebrating the International Women's Day in 8th of March and Egyptian Mother's Day in 21st of March.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So that's the problem. Thank you, madam. Thank you. We can't hear you, but we just want to thank you for your wonderful presentation. Thank you once again. Right. We could hear that. Unfortunately, we couldn't see you, but thank you very much. God bless you. Now we have our next speaker, Tatiana Silvasan, professor from Romania. Tatiana, are you there? Silvasan. Okay, then we have Mr. Shishir Srivastava from City Montessori School, Lucknow. He's the head of the international relations, and over to you.
Thank you, Dheeraj. Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be a part of this session being chaired by Dr. Dheeraj Mehrotra, my very good friend. And I'm also very happy that Charles Walter Society has taken this great initiative, and I would like to congratulate Mr. Abhishek Pandey. Well, the topic today is how do we bring about world peace? Well, friends, as we see, we are in...
I would appreciate if you switch on your video. We'll be happy to have you. And also, let me tell you, he is a very renowned author from India. He's got around four books published, and he is working a lot for world peace. If my friends are watching all around the world, let me tell you, he is in practice of so many innovations, towards world peace. So we would like to hear from your mouth. Mr. Sushil, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Dheeraj Mehrotra ji. Well, friends, I was just talking to my friend, Dr. Michael Ellis, who lives in Melbourne, Australia, and he's the founder of the Club of Budapest, Australia. And he has been associated with many international networks which promote world peace and issues of sustainable development. So we were just planning to create a global think tank. And the basis of that global think tank is that right now, people all over the world, all the good people, just like all of us, are very concerned of what will happen to the future of humanity, and for that matter, future of all life on Earth, owing to situations like the COVID and the upcoming, threat as climate crisis, wherein we might expect something known as the heat wave. By 2025, the average global temperature would rise somewhere close to 1.5 degrees centigrade. And we don't see, nations gelling together very well. We still have fight amongst the greatest economies of the world. There's G8, and then there is G20, and so all the greats. Each country, despite the COVID scenario, And despite, Mr. Schwab from the World Economic Forum saying that we need a great reset, the gaps between the rich and poor need to be, narrowed down, and sustainable development needs to be, the hallmark of everything that we intend to do, whether we intend to do any business or we intend to establish a society based on win-win situation. The very basis of that society, that culture should be, we should keep everybody's interest in mind, and not just the interest of human beings or the wealthy few, but all human beings. So much so that, more than $1 trillion is spent every year by, the greatest nations just to maintain and upkeep the nuclear weapons and maintain their army. We did not have any major war since the World War II. So past more than 75 years, we have not seen a major war. And yet just to upkeep the weapons of mass destruction and just to maintain them, it's a naive, expenditure every year. That a huge amount of money being spent over, military and to maintain and upkeep, and every year the defense budgets of even developing nations like India and Pakistan are going up by 10 to 20%. So we believe that we need to have a quantum jump, a quantum shift, or rather a paradigm shift in the human thought. To do that, we need to create awareness, not just in the mind of world citizens, but also we need to reach out to the world leaders in order that they think beyond the borders of their own countries. They come together and create a sustainable democratic alliance wherein a rules-based international order has to come up, and it should be in the larger interest of humanity. And we don't have much time left, because if we are able to mold our path, if we are able to get humanity on track within the next 5 to 10 years, then the next 60 years, then the century will still, have many of us alive. Otherwise, if we don't do that immediately, we will have great migration from, northern hemisphere to southern hemisphere, owing to the, impending climate crisis and the rising temperatures and the melting of glaciers, as we just saw. Texas, which is a state in US, has never experienced, any cold temperature, is experiencing drastically low temperatures now. There's not just the snow, but a few feet of snow, and Texas has never experienced. Even now, many cities in India, immediately after the winters, they are experiencing 10 to 15 degrees unexpected temperature rise. So all this is letting us think that how do we need to think in a more sustainable way. And I'm very happy that that this forum is bringing like-minded people together, and we hope to involve a few of you in the global impact. Yes.
Yes, Mr. Shishir, just a minute. Your name written is Dr. Jagdish Gandhi, so people are just a little confused. So he is Mr. Shishir Srivastava. He is the head of the international relations at City Montessori School in India. And let me tell you that this school was awarded the UNESCO Peace Prize. So Mr. Shishir, can you just add on to it? Like, how did you get it and what was the initiative? Just so that others can know about the peace initiatives we are doing here in India.
Thank you. Well, I belong to the school which started with 5 children and today has more than 55,000 students. And I'm very happy to tell you that Dr. Dheeraj Malhotra has been a part and parcel of the school for more than a decade. And he was an eminent total quality manager. I mean, he was the first person who led the quality control movement and established it very firmly, and not just in India, but in many countries.
I was more interested in getting to know about the Peace Prize. Yeah.
So coming down to the UNESCO Peace Prize, CMS was awarded the 2002 UNESCO Peace Education Prize. And the reason why it was awarded was not just for its size, but for the values it has been promoted in the mindset of young children, because UNESCO Constitution says that we must create a mindset that should not promote war. We must build defenses of peace in the minds of children when they are very young. So that is what our founders, Dr. Jagdish Gandhi and Dr. Bharati Gandhi, have been doing over 63 years now, ever since the inception of the school in 1959, more than 63 years ago. They started the school to inculcate core values of non-violence, peace, and tolerance amongst the children, and they have been, leading peace educationists in the world, and they have established the City Montessori School, and till now, thousands and thousands of students have passed out with these values, and they are all over the world, and UNESCO recognized the valuable contribution of the school. That time it was over 50 years, 40 years the school had been established. So the UNESCO director awarded this prize in the presence of the HRD minister, the education minister of India in Paris.
Yes. Congratulations for that. Thank you very much. So this was Mr. Shishir Srivastava from the world's biggest school, City Montessori School, Lucknow, which is into the Guinness Book of World Records. I would appreciate you people can Google it and get to know about the quality peace practices done by this school globally. Now we have the next speaker. We have Ditha Baldres from Cipher Learning, Mexico. Ditha, over to you.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yes, give me a second. Could you see my screen?
Yeah, it's visible. Please go ahead.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you in the World Peace Summit. The title of my participation is Communicating Respect in a Diverse Global Community. We want to be treated with respect. We need to analyze how much we respect others. People talk a lot about empathy, but don't apply it. We must recognize that we hope to be treated well, but sometimes we don't offer the same. Sometimes we are selfish and we forget the others need support and respect too. Sometimes we criticize and we judge others for their religions, cultures, ideas, skin colors, race, gender. And just there is when the power of empathy could improve the relationship and enhance the interest for others. Empathy is an individual decision and effort that each of us have to do it if we want to have a better relationship with others. It's common to hear empathy is putting yourself in someone's shoes, but it's not enough to leave it at the emotional state, because that is called sympathy instead of empathy. We have to be careful with this point. Empathy is much more than having a good attitude and mood. It's a lifestyle. And what about the schools and universities? Do they respect the way of thinking? For example, we have to eliminate the thought that the academic degree has more value than a person. Some educational institutes give more importance to the academic degree instead of the people or their ideas. It is crucial to respect ideas, and that is one of the most important things that the schools, college, and university has to be focused on. Since those places, students have the opportunity to believe in themselves, in their ideas. Respecting the ideas of others is one of the main jobs of the empathy. To what point do teachers respect the ideas of their students? At this point, respect, freedom, and creativity could start. In the primary levels of the education, the teachers work a lot with activities related with empathy. But as they continue advancing, this kind of activity reduce. For example, referring to the respecting of ideas, I have been applying an exercise to more than 1,500 people in universities and colleges from Latin America, Mexico, the Caribbean, Spain, and a small group in India. The target is teachers, students, principals, and researchers. In this activity, the participant must draw 3 things, only 3 things. And the objective is identify the difference or similitude between them. They draw a flower, a house, and an alien, okay? And then when they finish, they compare the drawings. 96% of the teachers, students, principal, and researchers that did this activity draw the same flower. 93% of the same of them draw the same house, but only 31% draw the same alien. Okay, what does it happen? Plenty of them have the same or similar kind of flower, and that happened with the and the same happened with the house. But the alien is totally different. Normally, we learn to draw a house and a flower in the primary levels of schools. The teachers show us to draw a house and a flower, but they don't give us the opportunity to create our own flower and our own house. For this reason, we draw the same, okay? Our creativity process is blocked, but it's totally different with the alien. They draw their own alien. They didn't learn how to draw an alien in school. We are exposed to a lot of resources and channels that influence this and give us the opportunity to create our alien. Okay. And then we have to respect the way to think of our students. We have to give them the opportunity to express their own ideas, create their own projects, respect their thoughts and different ideas. We have to be focused on the micro interaction because this could be the difference between respecting ideas or imposing ideas and block creativity. If we want peace, if we want peace, we could start to respect the ideas of others. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was really crisp and went to the real classroom scenario. So that's really great of you. Thank you, Dita, for this wonderful presentation. And now we have one more representative from Philippines, Ronald Poculanan Fiom from Philippines. Ronald, yeah.
Yes.
Over to
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Over to you.
Okay. So I would like to say thanks to Dr. Panli, including the organization, so the CWSIR, for this wonderful opportunity to be part of this peace conference. Okay, let me share my screen.
Yeah, most welcome.
Sorry. Okay. So I guess that you can see my screen now.
Yes, I can see your screen. Everyone can see that, yeah.
Okay. So I guess that you can also hear me. Thank you. Okay, I'm Dr. Ronel S. Pacolanan, Assistant Professor for University of Makati, Philippines. So let me define first what is peace education. It is commonly known as the pedagogic, an old-fashioned term. It is an effort to create a world of peace. It is characterized either in a small or a big scale effort, bringing peace to everyone, everywhere, at any time. So peace education holds both philosophical principles and processes. One, we have visionary. Vision by an individual or by an entity working towards the creation of a peace or world at peace. Inherently moral, moral for its conception and to any and all situation. So today we can see that we have the peace education, seek to build on the philosophy and to the process of non-violence to help us understand the role that conflicts and violence have played in our own life, seeking way to transform them. Everyone dreams of a better place to live. Better, it is what sets. So one, of course, we are looking for a beautiful place, a clean and green place. Of course, we also have orderly. Number two, a progressive place. Like under the livelihood for every family, we have food to eat. So clean places, and then growing prosperity. So there will be a lot of opportunity to work on, infrastructure, and sufficient job and employment. It is good that to have this. And we will consider this also as maybe a little bit of peace. And most importantly, peaceful and happy as individual, family, and clans, communities, barangays, towns, and cities. So, but are we contented with our community at present? Maybe some of you will say no. So definitely not just okay. So let me continue. Everyone dreams of a better place, but we first have to deal with many problems, conflict at hand. So right now, we are having problems, especially here in the Philippines. So we have war, hunger, and poverty, government corruption. So the youth is the pure hope of our fatherland, according to Dr. Jose Rizal. So this is the Philippine national hero. So youth are engaged in drug addiction, alcohol abuse, prostitution, and others. Do you think that this is called as peace? I don't think so. So let's move on. So even today, Philippines education is having problems, especially this virtual meeting or virtual classes, where the main problems are the internet connection, individual computers, because it is very expensive to buy. So many loads for internet connection, or many loads for connecting. So it is too hard for us to find peace. But some of them or some of us are contented already of what we have, and that is called as peace. So peace cannot found in this world, but peace can be found in Jesus, who is the Prince of Peace. According to some of the Bible verse, so in Isaiah 9:6, for to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. And in John 14:27, Jesus said, peace I leave you. So that is after dying Jesus Christ on the cross and sending to heaven. So may peace I give to you, not as the world gives, do I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let them be afraid. So for me, as a conclusion, so we can only find peace if we accept Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior, and we will enjoy our life with that. So once again, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you for this nice short presentation. And I am very sure it's not easy. It's challenging to have peace, and you are just going to do it the right way. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Yes,
now
sir.
we have our president, Dr. Pandey. I welcome him, invite him to share the vote of thanks. And I appreciate his wonderful job. And over to you, Abhishek.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. Just a moment. Actually, I'm not in the formal race. Well, good evening, everybody. Those who are connected today in the account of World Peace Summit organized by Charles Walter Society for Innovation and Research. I'm really very, very thankful to all the dignitaries, to all the speakers, all the guests of honor, chief guests of the day, whosoever have shared their golden experiences and the experiential talk on the peace to bring peace on the planet as we believe in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which advocates Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Shantu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pushyantu Makashiduk Bhagave. We, the Indian, pray the Lord Almighty for the peacefulness of the entire universe system and the world. Thank you very much, everybody, along with the moderator.
Okay, we lost you anyway. We can't hear you anymore because of the signals, I believe. No worries. Okay, so this was Thanksgiving from Dr. Pandey. I thank on behalf of him and the Charles Society. That's great of you to join today. I appreciate your commitment, your quality time, and take care, everybody. Be
Thank
cautious.
you so much.
And God bless everybody. Greetings from India. God bless everyone.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
Thank
a lot.
you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Nice
Thank
meeting
you.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, all of the team. Thank you, team members. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Stay peace. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.